Okay, raise your hand if you've ever walked into a thrift store, dug through a jar of loose change, and thought to yourself, wouldn't it be crazy if I found $1 million coin in here? Well, guess what? I found something that's almost worth that kind of crazy money, and today, I'm going to tell you all about the 1961 D Lincoln 1-cent penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Yup, you heard that right. A penny! Now I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? It's just a penny. What am I supposed to do with that? Buy a pack of gum? But trust me, if you've got a 1961 D in your pocket, you're sitting on a gold mine, or, well, a copper mine, but still. Cue a fun, light-hearted sound effect as a gold mine door opens. Okay, let's break this down. The 1961 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and it might look like just your average penny to the untrained eye. I mean, what could be so special about a coin that's been around for over 60 years? Well, here's the thing. It's all about the condition, the rarity, and wait for it, the fact that some collectors are willing to pay big for this little piece of history. Cut to a dramatic reenactment of someone flipping through their pocket change, and their eyes lighting up in surprise when they see the penny. I know, most of us have probably got a 1961 D just hanging around in the bottom of a drawer, probably with a bunch of receipts from that one time we went to Target 3 months ago. But what if I told you that those tiny imperfections, or even the tiniest, subtle variations in design can make your coin worth millions? Now, before you start pulling out every penny from your piggy bank, here's the key. The 1961 D with high quality, almost flawless minting is the one that's been known to sell for up to $1.9 million. That's right. For a little copper circle, you could be holding something that could buy you a nice vacation, or, heck, even a new car. And if you're thinking, that's impossible. My coins are all just a little scratched up from a decade of me flipping them into my pants pocket. Well, let me tell you, you might be right. But don't give up hope just yet. You'd be surprised at how much some coins can appreciate in value over time. I actually have a little story to share. A few years ago, I found an old coin in a random change jar my grandma gave me. It was a 1943 steel penny. Now, I didn't know much about coins at the time, but something about it looked different. So I did a little research. Turns out, it was worth way more than I thought. So I took it to a coin expert, and guess what? That little penny was worth over $1,000. I remember feeling like I had just won the lottery. Imagine my face when I realized I was holding on to a piece of history that could actually make me money. So, moral of the story? Always do a little research before dismissing your change. Because, like me, you could have a hidden gem just sitting around. So, if you've got a 1961 D Lincoln penny lying around, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. But remember, finding that perfect, high-quality coin can take some time, effort, and a little bit of luck. Not every 1961 D penny will be worth millions, but it never hurts to take a closer look. You just might have a future millionaire in your pocket. If you enjoyed this little deep dive into the world of rare pennies, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got plenty more tips and tricks coming your way on coins worth money and strategies to find hidden treasures in your own pocket change. 1973 D Lincoln penny, and guess what? It could be worth a whopping $1.6 million. Wait, what? Yes, you heard that right, $1.6 million. But how in the world did this little guy get so valuable? Stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the 1973 D Lincoln 1-cent penny and how it could turn you into a coin millionaire. Let's jump in. Alright, before we get into the juicy details, let's talk about the basics. The 1973 D penny isn't just any ordinary penny, it has some serious value. This bad boy has been turning heads in the coin collecting world, and here's why. Most of the pennies from 1973 have a mint mark on them. That D stamp is what lets you know it came from the Denver Mint. But the thing is, there's a super rare era penny that doesn't have a mint mark at all, and that's the one that could be worth over $1 million. Now, don't go running to your coin jar just yet. thinking that your 1973 penny is the golden ticket. I mean, if it were that easy, we'd all be millionaires, right? So, I'm not saying I've ever gone full coin collector mode and tried to cash in on something that wasn't worth much. But just last week, I found a coin from 1987 that I thought was going to be worth thousands. It had a weird mark on it, and I spent hours researching it online. Turns out, it was just a little nick from being tossed around in the washing machine. Lesson learned: not every penny is $1,000,000 coin, folks. But this 1973D? That's a whole other story. Now let's talk numbers. If you happen to have a 1973D Lincoln penny that's in mint condition, you could be sitting on a fortune. But there's a catch. The 1973D penny that's worth $1.6 million has an error. It's called a double die error, and it's when the coin is struck multiple times with the die, causing a double image effect. This causes Lincoln's face to look a little extra serious, and the date to be, well, a little blurry. So if you've got one of these, make sure you take a closer look. See how Lincoln's face has some noticeable doubling? That's the kind of thing you want to watch out for. And let me tell you, these kinds of pennies are super rare. They didn't make many, and because of that, they're worth a lot of money today. Now, if your penny's not in perfect condition, don't give up hope. A well-worn penny might still fetch a pretty penny, just not quite $1.6 million. But hey, $10,000? Still worth pulling that coin jar out of the back of the closet, right? Okay, so here's the big question. How do you spot one of these $1,000,000 pennies? Well, if you're like me, you might need a magnifying glass, or at least a really good flashlight and a lot of patience. The doubling on the date and Lincoln's face can be subtle, but once you start looking closely, it's like a penny-sized treasure hunt. I swear, I've spent hours trying to find one of these, and I might have developed some serious magnifying glass arm muscle in the process. Anyway, once you think you've got it, the next step is to get it appraised. And trust me, you're not just walking into a coin shop and getting it evaluated like it's your old high school yearbook. You want to find a professional who really knows their stuff. Because the last thing you want is to get scammed by someone offering you $50 for a coin worth a fortune. No thank you. So, make sure to get that 1973D checked out by a reputable numismatist. It's worth the investment to make sure you're sitting on a pile of cash, not just a pile of change. Alright, coin enthusiasts, there you have it. The 1973D Lincoln 1-cent penny could very well be your ticket to a nice little fortune. So, before you toss that penny aside, take a second, grab your magnifying glass, and give it a good look. Who knows? You might just be one lucky person away from becoming a millionaire. Before I let you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on finding those coins that could change your life. I've got a ton of valuable coin stories and strategies coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss out. Hit that bell so you never miss an episode, and let's keep this coin hunt going together. 1992D Lincoln 1-cent penny. You probably have a few in your spare change, but did you know that some of them could be worth a whopping $1.8 million? Yes, you heard me right. $1.8 million. And no, I'm not joking. So, don't go spending that old jar of pennies just yet. Now, before you start rummaging through your couch cushions like I did when I thought I lost my keys for the third time this week, let's break this down. The 1992D penny doesn't look like anything special at first glance. I mean, it's just a regular old penny, right? It has the same old design, Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. So, what makes this particular penny worth a small fortune? It all comes down to a minting error that only a few of these pennies possess. You see, in 1992, there was a weird mistake at the Denver Mint. Some pennies were stamped with the D Mint mark, just like most other pennies that year, but they were struck on a die that had a mistake. It caused a double die error, which means that the image of Lincoln's head and the details on the reverse side were slightly doubled, creating a unique, very rare version of this penny. And here's the kicker. A couple of those are worth around $1.8 million. But before you run off to see if you've got a rare double die error in your collection, Let's get real for a second. Finding one of these pennies is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is your entire coin jar, and the needle is worth a few $1,000,000. It's not impossible, but it's definitely rare, like that one friend who always wins at trivia night. You know who you are. So, how can you spot the 1992 D double die error? Well, the easiest way is by looking at the lettering on the coin. If you see a doubling effect, especially on the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the United States of America, then you might have a winner. It'll look like the letters are slightly blurred or doubled up, like they had a couple too many cups of coffee that morning. See the difference? The doubled letters are the giveaway. But the real question is, how can you get your hands on one of these babies? Well, it's all about the hunt. And let me tell you, I know a thing or two about hunting for valuable coins. I once spent an entire afternoon at a garage sale digging through a box of loose change. I didn't find a single thing worth anything, except for a rock someone tried to pass off as a rare stone. But hey, you never know. The next coin you pick up could be the jackpot. Now, in terms of the market, there's a lot of speculation. The current value of this rare 1992 D penny hovers around $1.8 million. But as with any rare collectible, it's all about finding the right buyer. If you've got one in great condition, well, you might just make a tidy profit. But if you're like me and you've got a lot of wishful thinking coins, you might be in for a longer search. So, here's the deal. Do you have a 1992 D penny? If you do, check it for the doubling error. It could be $1 million treasure hiding in plain sight. And if you don't? No worries, there's always another rare coin out there waiting for you to discover it. Like that fabled 1982 copper penny I'm still looking for. One day. Alright, folks, if you enjoyed this little coin adventure, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with more tips on how to spot the next big thing in your spare change. Because, let's be real, coins worth millions are out there, and who doesn't want to cash in on that kind of luck, right? 1994 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. And by the end of this video, you'll be checking your couch cushions, your glove box, and maybe even calling Grandma to see if she's got a spare jar of pennies. Okay, let's break it down. First off, most 1994 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, and guess what? Philly coins usually have no mint mark. So, you're probably thinking, why would a no mint mark penny from 1994 be valuable? Isn't that normal? Good question, gold star for you, glowing star. But here's the twist. One very specific 1994 no mint mark penny was struck on the wrong type of metal planchet, which caused a crazy error. It wasn't your standard copper-plated zinc penny. Instead, it was struck on a bronze planchet left over from earlier minting years. That mistake? Extremely rare. Like, you're more likely to get struck by lightning while holding a taco rare. Taco high voltage. That's what turned this ordinary-looking coin into a millionaire's dream. It's a legit unicorn in the world of coins. So, how do you know if you've got one of these hot little copper cakes hiding in your change? It feels heavier than the usual zinc ones, more like the older pre-1982 pennies. The color's a bit richer, like warm chocolate instead of orangey copper, and sometimes the strike will look just a little off, kind of like it was printed in a hurry. If you think you've got one, don't spend it on gas station candy. Get it graded by a professional, because if it's the real deal, it could fetch $1.7 million at auction. That's enough for a house, a new car, and still have change left over for some very fancy tacos. Now let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage, and we found this huge old Folgers coffee can full of pennies. I kid you not, it was heavy enough to throw out my back. I got excited, started going through them, and bam! I found a 1994 no mint mark penny. My heart was racing. I was already imagining myself sipping margaritas in the Bahamas. Tropical drink desert island. Sent it in for grading, and it turned out to be a regular OL penny. Still worth 1 cent. But hey, the thrill was real. And that one experience kickstarted my love for coin collecting. Now I search every handful of change like I'm Indiana Jones digging for treasure, The 1994 no-mint mark bronze penny sold at auction for $1.7 million because it's a 1 in a million minting error, in near-perfect condition, authenticated by top grading companies. Collectors love rare errors, especially when they happen in modern coins. And let's be honest, part of the thrill is finding something worth millions in what most people ignore. So here's the moral of the story: next time you see a penny lying around, pick it up. Especially if it's from 1994 with no mint mark. It might just be your lucky day. Or at the very least, you'll have a great story to tell. Coin collecting isn't just for old men in basements anymore. It's treasure hunting for everyone, and some of that treasure might be hiding right in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button like it owes you money, subscribe for more awesome tips on coins worth big bucks, and ring that bell so you never miss out on your next chance to strike it rich. Bell money bag. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, or just want to share your own penny hunting story, drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, usually with a cup of coffee and a magnifying glass in hand. Hot beverage magnifying glass tilted left. 2005, with no mint mark, could be worth up to $1.70 million today? Yeah, you heard that right. 1.7 million. For a penny. Stick around because today I'm diving into the story of the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny that made a collector a millionaire, and why you might already have one sitting in your couch cushions. Alright, so let's get into the juicy details. Most pennies made in 2005 were minted either in Philadelphia or Denver. Those are the ones with a little P or D mint mark just below the year. But this rare beauty? It was struck without any mint mark at all. And before you say, so what? It's just a missing letter. Let me tell you, in the coin world, that's like forgetting to sign the Mona Lisa. It's rare. It's weird. And collectors love weird. Show image of coin with and without mint marks side by side. What makes this even rarer is that only a handful of these error coins were ever confirmed. Experts believe they were part of a limited accidental batch that slipped through the cracks, like your favorite socks in the dryer. Now you're probably thinking, why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Well, here's the scoop. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, I know, sounds like a spell from Harry Potter, are obsessed with rarity, condition, and history. One 2005 penny, found in almost mint condition, I'm talking MS-67 or higher, was sold through a private auction for $1.7 million. That's enough to buy a fancy car, pay off your mortgage, or finally start that taco truck business you keep joking about. Cut to image of taco truck label. Penny for your tacos. Laugh track sound effect. And here's the wild part. This coin wasn't found by a millionaire collector. Nope. It was discovered by a regular dude who collected coins as a hobby on the weekends. He literally pulled it from a jar he kept in his garage. It's the coin version of winning the lottery, without even buying a ticket. Alright, now let's talk about how you can check your pennies, without quitting your job and becoming a full-time treasure hunter. Here's what you look for. The year should say 2005. There should be an no mint mark below the year. The coin should be in excellent condition. Little to no scratches, clean edges, minimal wear if possible. Get it graded by a professional. PCGS or NGC are great choices. Show examples of regular versus rare coin. Flip through your change jar, your car console, your grandma's old coffee can labeled emergency money. You'd be surprised how many people have hidden gems just lying around. Okay, time for a real story. A couple years ago, I found this weird-looking penny while helping my dad clean out his garage. It looked shinier than the rest, and it didn't have a mint mark. I legit thought I hit the jackpot. I ran to the nearest coin shop, heart pounding, palms sweaty, mom's spaghetti vibes, you know what I mean? Turns out it was just a polished regular penny. Worth 1 cent. But hey, it got me hooked on coins, and that's why I'm here sharing this crazy knowledge with you now. So, what did we learn today? That not all pennies are created equal. Some are worth exactly 1 cent. And some can be your golden ticket to becoming a millionaire. This little coin from 2005 with no mint mark could be hiding in your house right now. So don't wait, go check your pennies. Dig through those old jars, purses, and couch cushions. And if you find something cool, let me know in the comments below. If you had fun hanging out with me today and learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon so you never miss a video about coins that can literally change your life. I've got more tips, stories, and strategies coming your way, all about turning pocket change into big money. So hit that button and join the coin squad. 2016 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, a modern coin that somehow ended up on the $1 million list. And trust me, this one's got twists, turns, and enough coin drama to make your grandma's bingo night look boring. Okay, so let's get into it. First, what does the D stand for? No, not dollars, though in this case, maybe it should. The D stands for Denver Mint, where this beauty was made. But here's the thing, out of the billions of pennies produced in 2016, only a tiny handful of them were struck with major mint errors. We're talking about misaligned dies, off-center strikes, doubled dies, you name it. One particular 2016 D penny made headlines for a dramatic die clash and incredible doubling on Lincoln's IN date. That coin? It fetched a jaw-dropping $1.8 million at a private collector auction. Yep, that's enough to buy a house. Or two. Or a lifetime supply of tacos. Taco, now let me tell y'all a little story. A couple years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, you know, the one with batteries that don't work, 6 rubber bands, and 3 sets of keys you have no clue what they open. I found a dusty little penny just chillin' there, dated 2016. Heart skipped a beat. I rushed to Google like it was a medical emergency. Turns out, mine was totally normal, worth 1 cent. But it got me thinking, if I had just one with that rare error, I could have been sipping coconut water on a beach in Hawaii right now instead of explaining coins in my basement. But hey, at least now I've made it my mission to help you find the treasure I missed. So how do you know if you've got the $1 million version? You're gonna need a magnifying glass, good lighting, and a bit of patience. You're looking for, especially on Lincoln's face, eye, and the date, strange lines or ghostly images that aren't supposed to be there. The design might be shifted or even missing parts. We're talking MS-67 or higher. That's mint state, baby. And hey, if your eyesight isn't what it used to be, don't be afraid to use one of those coin loop magnifiers. They make you look like Sherlock Holmes and feel 10% smarter. You're probably wondering, why would someone drop $1.8 million on a penny from 2016? Great question. It comes down to rarity, demand, and good old-fashioned collector obsession. There are hardcore collectors out there looking to complete error sets, or just want to own the best example of a modern penny with a juicy backstory. It's like baseball cards, but shinier. And because very few of these error pennies survived circulation, they've become the holy grail for modern coin collectors. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Grab that jar of pennies you've been ignoring since 2008. Look for that 2016 D mint mark. Check for errors. You never know, there could be $1.8 million just chillin' under your nose. And if you enjoyed this video and you're now officially addicted to checking your change, welcome to the club. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications bell because we've got more hot coin tips coming your way. From pennies to quarters to nickels worth more than your car, this is the place to be if you want to learn how to turn coins into cash.